How you doing? My name is Daree Allen, and I'm glad to have you here today watching me live and on the replay. My name is Daree Allen. It's like Marie with a D, and I'm an entrepreneur. Basically, I help people, especially girls and young women, with their self-esteem and help them build confidence by helping them learn how to reject negative media images and basically live with high standards. I, like many women, have been accused of having too high of standards. And I used to think that was a bad thing to have high standards. But over the years, I've come to realize that it's actually good to have high standards. Thank you, everybody, for joining me and inviting and giving me hearts. I appreciate it. I see you there in the corner. Basically, this idea came back to me again because I attended a brunch with Jay Stone. She's very popular on Periscope. She's killing it. Her handle is JAI Stone. So if you're not following her, you need to, because you can learn a lot just from her scopes. I can't imagine what you will learn from her in person. But I met her for the first time yesterday at a brunch in the Vinings area of Atlanta. And they had a panel of women, and they were talking about different things going on with this book that she has coming out on October 9th called Her Chronicles. And one of the quotes that she gave, she was talking to someone named Brandy Starr, who I believe is on Twitter. I'm not sure if she's on Periscope. And the quote was, "I cannot lower my standards to meet your mediocrity." I'm gonna say that one more time. "I cannot lower my standards to meet your mediocrity." It's like today, people just kind of are used to having things done fast or having things done half-assed, and the art of excellence and high standards seems to be lost. It's kind of like, let me just get this done. I mean, whether it comes to work, when it comes to dealing with other people, you take people for granted. Excellence is like a lost art. And so that really resonated with me when they said, I cannot lower my standards to meet your mediocrity. So what I want to do in this scope is, actually I have music that I was going to play and stuff. Let me get myself together. I was going to give you 4 different tips on basically why it's so important to have, let me turn this down a little bit. 4 reasons why it's important to have high standards, and why you should not feel bad if somebody calls you picky or says you're too picky. Perhaps you're being selective. Perhaps you have boundaries. So basically that's my first step. It shows people that you have boundaries. So you have to love yourself and have standards for yourself before you're going to have them set for anybody else, right? If you have a certain way that you want to look and present yourself on the outside, you should be good on the inside too. It basically tells people that I have standards, I have boundaries, and you can't just treat me or talk to me any kind of way. Doesn't mean you have to go off on them like it's a reality show and start, throwing drinks and pulling hair and stuff like that. But it just means that you have to be very clear with people about, this is the way that you talk to me. This is the way that I will respond to you when you talk to me in a certain way. And if you don't do that, then I'm going to check you. I might not check you the way that Sheree checked somebody on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I will check you and let you know that this is not the way that I operate. So number 1, it shows people that you have boundaries. Number 2, your relationships will be more clearly defined, okay? Your relationships will be more clearly defined. So when you're involved in a romantic relationship with somebody, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, whatever, you're telling that person what it is that you want and what you expect, and that you can agree or disagree on it, but you're clear about what you want. There's so many people that get their feelings hurt in relationships or quasi-relationships because one person is thinking that it's this, and the other person like, oh no, we're not on that level. It's only this. And so you have to be clear about what it is you want and have that relationship basically defined. Some people don't want to have that conversation. Well, then maybe you want more than the other person wants, but you can't be afraid to ask for what you want. You just can't, because if you are, you probably won't get it. All right. Another example of that is, like saying a lot of women want to talk to somebody on the phone, like their significant other, they want to talk to that person on the phone at a certain time or, several times a day. Well, if that person only calls you at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, and you wanted to talk to them way before 10 p.m., then you need to let that be known that, no, I don't play that. You can't just ignore me all day long and then call me, when I'm in bed. Like, that's not going to work. But if that's what you want, fine. You have to speak up and let people know what you want. Number 3, it tells your friends how to be a friend to you. It tells your friends how to be a friend to you. So if somebody just calls you when they need something and they're not a friend any other time, they're not calling to hang out, they're not calling to go to the movies, they're not calling to go, for a drink or whatever it is, but they're only calling you when they need money or they need advice, and then it's kind of like crickets the rest of the time, maybe that's not the kind of friend that you want to have. So I feel like people need to speak up with their friends too. People have toxic relationships, not just with their significant other, but also with their friends, because they're being dogged and they don't speak up. Hey, Tanya, what's up? Woo! Now you know it's me. She didn't know who I was yesterday because I let all my hair grow out. I used to have a Caesar. So, yeah, I'm just telling people different reasons why they should have standards. I know you already know. I'm on number 3. It tells your friends how to be a friend to you. Don't just call me when you need something. Don't just treat me like crap when we're, out in public. Thank you. But in private, you're like, okay, you know what? I didn't really mean that. I love you. You're my girl. No. Not, But if you let it go, they're going to keep doing it. You have to teach people how to treat you. Okay. Number 4, my final tip. It tells your potential clients that you're on point. Having standards tells your potential clients that you're on point. What do I mean by potential clients? Basically, you need to be excellent in business. You need to have excellence. You have to honor your commitments. If you say you're going to deliver on something, deliver or over deliver. If you make a mistake and you can't deliver what you've promised, or you missed a phone call, or you were late for an appointment or something, own it. Say, look, my bad, I was in traffic, or I overslept, or I overestimated what I could do. I really thought I could deliver you this much by next week, but I can only deliver this much. Can we still work together? Can I do better? Can I have another chance? But if you don't apologize, if you don't honor your commitments, if you're not excellent in your business, then you're not going to continue to get business. I remember people often talk about getting referrals from people. I've gotten referrals to give someone my business. Like I've said, when I was creating my book, okay, my very first book is this one right here, What's Wrong With Me. It's probably backwards on the screen, but it's an excellent book. The inside is beautiful. Like, I really take pride in my work, but I know that I can't do everything by myself. Okay. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I'm excellent with words, but I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know how to draw. I'm not the one for that. So I know I have to go to people. And when I get a referral that says, yo, get with this person, they're the bomb, they can do whatever you need, and then I go to that person and they don't deliver, it's kind of like, what? It looks bad on the other person as well, because it's like, you told me that this person was the one. This is the person that I needed to get. And so you got to be selective. You've got to honor your commitments. You got to deliver on your promises. And I'll just recap briefly. Yeah, one more thing. I went to, in addition to the brunch I went to yesterday with Jay, on Saturday, I went to this excellent workshop with @Miss Quality Media. Her name is Lori Mans, @Ms. MS Quality Media. And she did a class on sponsorship secrets. And if you're in business, then you know how important it is to have sponsors for your stuff. So you're not going broke, especially in the beginning, spending money, doing events and travel and things like that. And so one of the things I talked to her about was networking. I said, when I first moved to Atlanta, I live in Atlanta, I used to run myself crazy going into different events and meetups and different things like that, where they were business card events. They were, things where I could network. And, oh yeah, Lori's the truth. Ms. Quality Media is her name. You need to follow her if you're not. And she said, you've got to be selective about where you go. You're not being necessarily a snob to people because you may not go to their event, but you got to be selective. You have to have a plan before you go go networking and say, what am I going to get out of this? Why am I doing this? What kinds of people do I hope to meet? Not just that I want to see big name people, but what kinds of people can I have a partnership with? Not just what I want to get, but how can I let people know how I can serve them too? And so you got to be selective about those networking events. Yeah, you got to make sure it fits. I mean, if it's not for you, because I was going to events and I'm a speaker, okay? I deal with youth and I deal with young ladies, from ages like 13 to 19, teenagers. And so if nobody really deals with education or nonprofits or community at that event, then it's kind of like I spent a whole lot of time in hot air, talking. I could, obviously, you can see it here, I could talk. But what was I getting out of it? Nothing. I was completely drained by doing that. So let me recap these 4 tips for you. And please, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and give me hearts and share with your followers if you think this is beneficial, because I know there's somebody out there that does not have standards and needs to get some. So, number 1, having standards shows people that you have boundaries. They can't just walk all over you. Number 2, standards tells people, thanks, Tammy. Yeah. Tip number 2 is your relationships will be more clearly defined. So you won't be feeling unfulfilled in a romantic relationship because it's like, I thought I was supposed to be getting this. Well, you ain't speak up. You ain't tell him what you wanted. So why would he give it to you? You're not even confident enough or, assertive enough to let him know. And then number 3, it tells your friends how to be a friend to you. Look, you're not gonna, there's different levels of friendship, Are you want to be in the acquaintance section? You want to be in the inner court section? You want to be in the outer court section? Where you want to be at? Because if you're treating me a certain kind of way, you're not in that inner court. I'm not gonna have you. There's only certain people that can get in this inner court, okay? Everybody can't get in here, you gotta deserve it. You've gotta earn it. I'm a friend to you. I expect the same. And then finally, number 4, having standards tells your potential clients that you are on point. You are somebody to be with. You are someone that's going to honor your commitments. You're someone that's going to be dedicated to excellence. You're going to follow through. You're going to return phone calls and emails in a timely manner, and you're going to deliver on your promises. Be excellent. So I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching this replay, watching this live, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. I am Daree Allen, and I am available on DareeAllen.com. Awesome. DareeAllen.com. Just click the top. You can see all about my books, my speaking engagements, and my podcast, which is called Kicking It with Daree. This is what it looks like backwards. All right, take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday.